Podcasting from the Chicagoland area, this is Game On with Jackson Stuart, where we discuss men's lifestyle, focusing on sex, fitness, relationships, business, and more. We'll be interviewing the best of the best, the hot shots, and the rising stars in the worlds of modeling, fitness, cooking, and more. Influencers who are discussing keeping it sexy while at the top of their game. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the game.
This is Trinasia, and you're listening to Game On with Jackson Stuart.
Good people, sexy people, welcome to another podcast of Game On with Jackson Stuart. I'm your host, Jackson Stuart, and as always, I appreciate you joining us this evening. Excuse me. So tonight we're talking about the cam world, and the pandemic put us all in a unique situation, one of which was isolation. We weren't out at social gatherings like we've been. We weren't out at parties and bars and clubs. We weren't meeting people. And, that put a crimp on people's love lives and people's sexual expression or sexual release. And so, excuse me, allergies people, I apologize. For some people, this meant a need for social interaction, safe social interaction, and digital friendship and digital sex became a solution. So welcome to the world of camming. Now, what does that mean? We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And we've been very fortunate to have actual cam models on the show. Most notably, Ariana Gray from last season. And if you have not heard that episode, go back and track it down. Ariana is a friend, and she is beautiful and brilliant and smart, and she's probably not even going to hear me say any of this, but in that episode she gives great insight into what the cam world is like, what in the past and present, what's possible in the future. And I think a lot of people have an incorrect assumption of what cam life is like. I think they believe that these men and women, because there are cams with male models, sleep all day, wake up beautiful, hop online, make a gajillion dollars a night, and then go back to sleep, in between drinking and drugs and, wild sex parties. And it's, I'm sure it might be like that for some, but for a lot, it's just another job. It's a job that they enjoy. The ones I've spoken to do enjoy it, but there is a lot behind it. There's a lot of planning. These are self-employed individuals. They do not have staffs or teams, or managers necessarily. So, they have to learn the technology behind the cam world. They have to do promotion. They have to learn social media. They have to build a following, and they have to deal with a ginormous amount of crazy ass people. I've assisted some as a room helper or as a moderator, and you'd be surprised the wackadoodles that just pop in every night just for no other purpose than either disrupt a model's room, be disrespectful, do a power play and try and tell the model what to do, or just come in and spout political views or social views or hateful, vile views. You just have to think what goes through somebody's day or their mind that they have to have all this pent up just to come into this forum, anonymously, where literally they could be whatever username they want to be and just start terrorizing people. So, we've been fortunate to have models on. They gave us some insight. And now it's time for insight for those of us on the other side of the screen, for whom it's a bit different. So tonight we're going to talk from a standpoint, if it's your first time, like let's say you're thinking about checking out the world of cam, but you haven't, or you've done it once, or you've done it 1,000 times. I'm not going to say how many times I've done it, where you'll find some unique insight on tonight's podcast. So we've got about, let's say, seven solid tips that I feel are key to a great cam night for both you and the model. And first up, want to remind people, because I'm pushing this, please catch us on patreon.com/Jackson Stuart. Player's Guide to Erotic Literature and more is coming. Also, join us on Reddit, where we are r/Game On with Jack. We want to build these communities because, I'm getting feedback. People have questions, not obviously just about the sexual standpoint of the show and its guests, but people are asking me about, well, Jack, what do you think about, I'm going to this cookout. Actually, we got a show coming up about summer cookouts, or Jack, what should I wear for this? So we're really getting people to talk about the aspects of quote unquote a player. And I say player slightly tongue in cheek. I'm not talking about how to manipulate people or get over on females or males or whoever, but it's just about, we've had, Dale Valor on this show. It's just about elevating who you are. So that you're not the same cat you were yesterday or last week. You're better, because a better you is good for you, and a better you is good for the people around you. And so building the community, thank you guys. And I should stop and say thank you. I just posted the badge from Podbean. We've got 20 hours of podcasts out there. That is wild. 20 hours, and that would not be possible, would not be worth doing if it was not for you all tuning in and listening to the show. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate the guests. I mean, so many people have taken the time to, respond. Excuse me. It's not a show if there's not drinking involved, people. So many people have taken time to respond, to be guests. We have not had one single guest I would not have back. I mean, everybody has just been, what they are. They are at the top of their game, and they all have been, you guys don't get to hear the before and after, but every guest I've had a great pre and post discussions with. They're phenomenal people. They're wildly interesting. And so I owe them an endless amount of gratitude, and you, the audience, as well. So thank you very much. I'm going to give a shout out right now to a couple of my boys I know. Listen, I'm going to give a shout out to Deer. What up, Titan, motherfucker? And a shout out to Jay. Jay literally catches every episode and tells me about it, tells me what he liked about it. Jay even reminds me, he's like, hey, Jackson, you got a show tonight. I'm like, I know, Jay. but those two guys and all of you who have taken the time out to stay fans of the show, Teddy Martinez and Trinasia Harris and, some other people. If I missed your name, I apologize, but thank you very much. You guys make the show worth doing, and I appreciate it. So tips about camming, as I've been rattling on. 7 tips. I'm going to read through them and then break them down. Number 1, the 2 major types, at least that I've experienced, cam platforms. My free cams, MFC, and Chatterbait. 2, we'll talk about creating an account. 3, learn the lay of the land, which I think goes for every time I talk about going into a new place, whether it be a bar, a club, a strip club, camming, work party, whatever. 4, be cool. 5, no demands. 6, buy tokens. What are tokens? How do you buy them, etc. And 7, how to have some fun when you're in there. So first up, the 2 major platforms you will most likely experience, MFC and Chatterbait. Very similar in that they offer a singular experience for a person viewing a room, which may have a model or multiple models who are engaging in some type of communication on a sexual level. Now, there are some differences. MFC is consists only of female models. Chatterbait has female, male, trans, and couple rooms. Now, MFC, from my experience, has had and don't show people, you might find models who are using dildos or some type of sex machines on themselves. They may have another model in there. They may have some type of makeout session. Chatterbait has full blown sex. You may have, female to female. You may have group sex. You may have quote unquote gangbangs. So it's a little different in that environment. What they have in common, both work off of a tipping system. We'll talk about tokens in a little bit. Both are 24 hours. Both have models 24 hours. Both have account layout where you can create an account or you can go in as a guest and view, but we'll talk about that because there's a difference. So there are similarities, there are differences. And just want you to know that. And a quick disclaimer, I'm not being paid or getting any kind of kickback from either, just laying it out there for people. I had a buddy who I was telling him about my experiences, and he's like, man, Jackson, if you could just summarize all that for guys who are interested. So that kind of, led to the show. Second tip, create an account. Don't just go in as a guest. And here's why. A guest account is, sometimes we call them looky-loos. Like you can watch, but you can't do anything. You can't talk. You can't send a message to the model. Now, some guys are like, well, why do I care? I just want to watch her. All right, cool. That's you. But a player is going to get involved. You're watching shows and events that people are tipping and paying for, and jump in there. And we'll talk about the cost of tokens and, what jumping in there all includes. Guest accounts tend to be limited in that like I said, you can only look, but you can't talk, you can't engage, you can't purchase any of the options you'd like. And also, you also can't email, you can't take advantage of the full layer of what they call typically a premium account has to offer. Here's the difference. A premium account has some tokens and has used them, for some type of tipping, and now you are permanently in a premium account. That being said, I'm going to jump out of order real quick. Buy tokens. On average, $20 gets you 200 tokens. So you got to go from a cash to a token exchange rate. Trust me, they make it easy to buy tokens. Probably a little too easy. You can use a credit card. You can use debit card or PayPal. Billing, like if you go to a strip club and you use a credit card, typically will appear as something more reserved and not obviously a sex model cam site. Once you get the tokens, they're allocated to your account. You go into a model's room and you can then spend tokens on what they call menu items, which are activities you want to see the model do. My experience, at least on the MFC side, and I'd be surprised if Chatterbait was not the same, there is a limit to how many tokens you can buy, within a 24-hour period. Kind of a good thing. It's much like gambling. You get cut off at some point. So we talked about, the two main platforms, creating an account and how to populate it with tokens. The one thing about tokens, and this happens, I've seen it happen a lot. You go in and you lose your mind. And, I'll talk about Ariana's room because I've been in there. I've seen cats come in. They can't believe, this breathtaking model, and she's sexy as hell and she's doing things of a sexual nature, and you lose your shit and you pull out those credit cards and you start racking up those bills. And you can always tell because you see these young cats are hot, man. They're just like, they're in their Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they fall off. You don't see them for a couple of weeks. Well, they got that credit card bill. So, just once you get an account, once you start getting tokens, you just pace yourself and take it easy. A lot of times also rooms run a high tip, and, the high tipper of the night. In some rooms, you get like a prize. The model might send you a free video. Your name's up on the screen. You're going to get some reward for that. It gets competitive. You start competing with another cat in the room, and, you're throwing 100 tokens and he throws 200 and you throw 1,000. Take it easy because, that bill, those tokens spin, but that's real money. Pace yourself. learn the lay of the land. Next tip. And I say this for like literally every environment that we talk about, not just sexual environments, but just anything, going to parties, going to cookouts, work, the gym. Don't come in hot like you know everything. Don't come in hot. And we'll talk about making demands in a second. Come into a room. Usually a model will recognize you, a new name, or I don't know if you pop up as new. She might say, or he might say, hi, and just say, hi. You could say hi first time. I've seen repeatedly, room after room, the community in that room, bend over backwards to greet new people because it's cool. Plus new people are taking you want new people to stick around. Friendships do develop in these rooms outside just, watching a sexual event with a person. And so just be cool. I cannot stress enough, be cool. Don't start saying who you think the model looks like. Don't start, trying to sweet talk the model or come off like, you fucking Big Daddy Kane. I just dated myself, Big Daddy Kane. Just, lay back in the cut, chill out. Next tip, be cool and relax. You see, people come in, guys come in and they're just hot and they're horny as shit. And they come in there and they're talking about this and that and, this body part and, ooh, I want to do this and ooh, I want to do that. Go back to learn the lay of the land, but be cool, relax, because every room and every model is a little bit different. Some models, you can say whatever you want, not a problem. The majority of rooms do have rules. You cannot disrespect the model. You cannot disrespect, the other people in the room. Some models do not like certain phrases being used about them. There's one room I saw, and the model did not like being called a goddess. And it's weird because, I shouldn't say weird. If it offends her, it offends her. Whatever I think about it is notwithstanding. She has every right to declare what she wants to be called. But you see that a lot. A lot of guys come in, oh, you're a sexual goddess, or you're a beautiful goddess, whatever. But so this guy came in, he said, you're a goddess, and boom, he got a warning on the screen, do not use the phrase goddess. Now, and let me bring up on a side point, a moderator or room helper or one of the bots. So a bot is an automated reminder, an automated feature in a cam room that may routinely post, get her video for, 700 tokens or whatever. Or, don't forget this model is up for, Miss Cam Model USA, whatever. A bot is it's just an automated system that puts announcements up. Now, you will have a room helper or a moderator who is a living person who the model has, a relationship with, and obviously not a sexual one, but they trust this person enough that they've given this person additional abilities in the room. Abilities like they can ban a user, they can mute a user, they can run commands themselves, they can set timers. If a model is, she's got a sex show going on and sex show runs for 2 minutes, the room helper can set the 2-minute timer. So the reason why I bring those people up is that, their names may be a little bit different. The model may refer to them, and, you should respect everybody, but you really want to respect those guys, because you piss them off and the model's like, hey, if they get out of line, mute them or kick them out. So, that's, be cool, relax. Don't let your horny ass fingers tell your brain, don't let your horny ass tell your fingers what to type. Takes us right into no demands. And this happened so many times. I saw a room post and I could not stop laughing at this. It was a post that said, looks like the FNG bus is in town. FNG, for those that don't know, stands for fucking new guy. And it was a user in the room, and he was just rattling off everything. Stand up, bend over, show me your ass, show me your titties. Do you suck dick? It was just a string of just wild shit this guy was saying. And he was making demands. He was like, undo that button, take off your bra. And he wasn't tipping anything. So when you go into a model's room, you look her page up and down, you will find a menu. A menu is a list of activities and their respective token costs. Do not direct, demand, or tell a model what to do. It's bad form and get your ass kicked out. You might even make a mistake, and you might be like, you might go in a room and, a model's doing something. You might say, oh, wow, something as harmless, can you stand up? Well, literally everything you could ask a model to do is probably in a menu and probably has a cost to it. So go in there, don't make any demands, say hi, find the menu. And then just lay back and absorb the room and how it handles, how it communicates. Some models don't talk. Some models, might speak a different language. So their room is just, they don't speak and they just perform and that's it. Some models talk a lot. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but some models communicate a lot. Some models talk about their day. Some models look for interactions with some of the people in the room. CTC becomes a thing, cam to cam. Guests can tip so that the model will turn on and watch their camera on their computer. So the model will see Hollywood squares of users and, oh, hey, that's a nice shirt, or, typically it's like, hey, I see you're beating off. Don't go into a room and demand a model turn on your camera or, turn on feed from your camera. That's a tippable item or a token based item. And, once again, find the menu, no demands. Lastly, we talked about buying tokens, but lastly, have fun. You go into these rooms and you'd be surprised how important it is to the model that you have fun too, because it's all about energy. We talked about energy before. I'm an energy guy. If the room is good and people are talking and joking and having a good time, you clearly see the effect that has on a model. He or she starts to have a good time. He or she starts to laugh. He or she, it starts to have a better night. And then a rapport is set and a community gets built. So have fun, say hi. If you're going to leave, it's fine to say, hey, everybody, had a good time. I'll see you guys later. Bye. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, don't be ashamed if you run out of tokens. Nobody's going to get token shamed. I mean, you should not get token shamed. Let me say that. So, you might throw in there and then the model's like, hey, it's still like, X amount of tokens for the goal. And you don't have to say anything, but if they call you out, like, hey, guys, I'm out, I threw my tokens for the day, I'm good. And nobody should sweat you about that, because that's very personal. That's how much money you felt comfortable bringing for the night. Now, don't come in and throw one token and you sitting on, a stack like fucking Scrooge McDuck, and you got other people who are trying to tip to see a really cool show. Some models will keep a sex show open for the public. Some models go into what's called a group show, where it costs a certain amount of tokens to get a special link to go in and watch the model perform. There's what's called true private. So true private is where it's one user and the model for X amount of time. That means that there's nobody else able to view the model at that moment. True private is a little bit more of a token spend. I've experienced them. They're great. Shout out to Ariana. I've had true privates with her. And a shout out to oh my God, her Miss Abby. She's changed her name a couple times. Miss Abby, I've had true privates with her. And true private, I think if you have a model who's a favorite, you need to save up and experience a true private once, at least. They're recorded so you can go back and watch it later. You and the model, it's a worthwhile time. And then there's, there's, open room, so to speak, or open viewing. There's, true private, and there's group shows. Once you get in comfortable with a model, you'll figure all this out. Eventually, you can bookmark a model. So every time the model comes online, you get an email, hey, so-and-so's online. You can also, you become a digital friend of the model. So she'll know or he'll know when you're online, and they may send you a message. Like if you're in another room, they may just send you a message saying like, hi, hope you had a good day. Just letting you know I'm online, and you can, view 2 rooms at once or leave one room and hop over to another. Above all else, have a good time, be respectful. If you get uncomfortable in a room, then leave and you don't have to go back. I've had it happen. I had a model that I was following and we were pretty cool, and she was going through some stuff, and she lashed out at me one night, and, cause I had a quote unquote pecking order of models. Like if this model was on, I would leave and go over to this room, and this particular model didn't like me leaving her room, and she said that she felt like she wasn't my favorite, and it was first come, first serve, and she was second. Anyway, it got heated, and I just diffused it, and I said, I never wanted to make you feel offended, so I apologize, and it's probably just best if I don't come back to your room. And you should probably not have a negative experience if you just take these tips. I guarantee you they will not lead you to a negative experience. But hey, shit happens. And if it does, then you know what? Take the high road, walk away, and never go back. You don't want to get into a situation where you're shouting, digitally at a model or having a fight. You can get banned from both platforms for good. You don't want to go through that. But yeah, you're not having a good time, bug out. It's just that simple. So I hope that this gives you some insight into these worlds. If you're curious, go in there and check them out. They're discreet, they're fun, and there's a lot of beautiful and intelligent people in these worlds that I think you'll enjoy encountering. So thank you very much, and game on. What if you could be a better player for the cost of one more cup of coffee a month? Get access to a growing library of lit erotica, behind-the-scenes action, and player's guides with tips on drinking, cooking, fitness, dating, sex, and life after dark. Low tier rate while offer lasts. Patreon.com. Game On with Jack.
This is Dale Valor from Modern Valor Dating, and you're listening to Game On with Jackson Stuart. Killing 'em!